Welcome to the Basics of Cyclone, Part 10. In this session, we're going to pick up where we left off in Part 9 with the second session of data reduction and cleanup. Now, in the last session, we talked about deleting inside and outside of a fence, but it's also possible to fence an object and send that object out to a new model space so that you don't have to delete objects inside and outside of the fence. For example, if I just create a quick fence, and then right-click and say Copy Fence to New Model Space, you can see that it copies exactly what I selected out to the new model space. And all it's simply doing is creating a temporary model space, as you can see right here in the navigator. So if I come back over to here, anything that I would create inside of this model space can be brought back into the other model space. So if I quickly just select 2 points and create a polyline, then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to select my point clouds. And we'll delete those guys out. And when I go to close this, I'm going to say merge into original and delete after close. And as soon as I do that, you'll see that my temporary model space disappears. And when I come back to my original model space, that line that I created is now in there and ready for me to use. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about are limit boxes. By simply going up to View and Limit Box, then zooming out, you'll see that we have our limit box, which encompasses the whole point cloud. By simply using the grips, you can make the limit box to whatever size you want. Okay, now that we're ready here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and just delete this line that we created earlier on. And now what I want to do is essentially select all of my point clouds. So by hitting Shift L and then selecting my point clouds, minimizing that, and then I'm simply going to come through and just pick some points along my pavement. After I have my points, I'm going to go up to Create Object, Region Grow, and Smooth Surface. You'll see that the Smooth Surface box appears. It's already done running the tool. But I'm going to change this thickness tolerance. Maybe I don't want it to be 1600. Maybe I only want that thickness tolerance to be a 10th. And I can hit Restart. And you'll see it finishes very rapidly. I can select OK now. And once I do that, you'll see that it highlighted all of the cars and everything that was above that surface that I picked. Now I can either take these and put them on a layer, or I can just simply hit the Delete key. And as you can see, all of those points disappear. Now by going back up to View and turning off Limit Box, you'll see that we have cleaned just that area that we had inside of our limit box, and everything else is still has all the noise from the cars and everything else. So let's focus on this area over here, and this time, instead of using a limit box, we're going to use a selection. So again, I'm simply going to just grab my fence, and I'm going to come down my pavement here, and we'll come back around like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Selection, Point Cloud Subselection, and say Remove Outside Fence, which basically removes everything outside of the fence from my selection. Then I can go to View, and I can say Hide Unselected Clouds, which makes things a little bit easier. So now, once again, all I'm going to do is simply grab some points along my pavement here. And once I do that, I'm going to come up to Create Object, Region Grow, Smooth Surface again. And again, I'm going to change this down to a 10th just so that I did the same thing on both of them. We'll hit Restart. And OK. And again, we'll delete that. And now if I come back up to View and Show Hidden Clouds, you'll see that we've cleaned those two areas. We've still got a few outlying cars that were outside of our fence there, but we've cleaned those two areas very rapidly.